Okay, so I want to ask, you all have a phone, right? Okay, so you guys ever wonder what type or what kind of phone or what kind of music a phone makes or a phone plays? My bad. They play a saxophone. Okay, so phones have been around us through a pretty long time, and they've helped us understand or helped us communicate with one another since the 1830s with telegraph and up to now with a newer smartphone. So today I would like to talk to you all about how the smartphone has been one of the most important technological advancements that we have as of now. Now, I understand there have been other advancements such as the car, medicine, and computers. But the smartphone is something that I believe that is more important to us because we're all constantly using them for any kind of purpose. Now, for those purposes, I'd like to explain the phone itself, the GPS, and the internet. So, according to according to Venture Beat writer Paul Sowers, he mentions in 2017 that there are 5 billion people around the world that have a smartphone. Now, pretty crazy, right? That's a pretty big number. Now, it's already 2019, and I'm pretty sure either that number has been around the same or it's been going higher because, I mean, come on, who won't want a new smartphone, right? Now, it pretty much depends on the person's need of the type of phone that they want. So I like to explain 2 different types of phones: a traditional landline phone, and as I'm going on, a smartphone. So you guys know what a traditional landline phone would be, right? It's pretty much one of those phones with a coil wrapped around, and you pretty much have like a certain distance where you're capable of calling it. Now, so the good thing about people still having those phones is that people are capable of going on for hours and hours, and they don't have to worry about charging the phone. But the limits of having a landline phone would be that because it's wrapped with a coil, you're very limited to be able to be productive around your house and with being able to do any other kind of things that are really pretty important and something that makes you more productive. Now, I also understand that landline phones have been changing. Like, we have more electrical, or not electrical, but more wireless landlines where people have been able to just pick up the phone and pretty much call wherever they want and be more productive. But then again, you need to also charge them, and that's also one of the downsides of having a landline phone. Plus, also, the downside of having a landline phone is that people don't really need much of having an in-house phone because everyone's just trying to contact one person, not just an entire house. Now, going on to the smartphone, the benefits of having that is that you're more productive with that, not only with your surroundings, but on the phone itself, because with speakerphone, you're more capable of being able to open more apps and being able to go and be more productive while still trying to contact someone. Now, okay. Now, according to BizFluent writer Ian Lanton, since 2004, there have been 90% of people that live in a house that have landline phones, but in 2014 there have been less than 60% of people that live in a household that still use landline phones. Now, it pretty much depends on your need of a house landline phone, because it's more common that pretty much you're just trying to contact the person itself and not just like for instance, I could contact any one of you much more easily with a smartphone because I have a direct number to contact you. But like, say like if I had a landline for the entire building itself, I may not be able to contact who it might be because it's only going to be able to contact the building itself. and I need to get someone to contact, but you guys may not be there, and that's pretty much the downside of having a landline. So here comes in my second topic, the GPS. Now, GPS has been able to help us with many aspects by being able to track down the phone and being able to commute. Now, when I say by being able to track down, I don't really mean to track down the person itself, but I'm specifically meaning tracking down the phone. And there are two important aspects of tracking down the phone, which is Find My iPhone and Samsung, and Uber and Lyft. Now, for finding my iPhone and finding my Samsung, pretty much you're just trying to find your phone because you can never remember where it's been, and it's on vibrate, so you're trying to remember quickly where you left it before you start overreacting. And for Uber and Lyft, pretty much you're trying to calculate where your transportation is, because you're trying to get from one place to another in a certain time, and you're just trying to make sure you don't run in late or yeah. Okay, so for my third topic, I like to talk about how the internet is one of the most important aspects for being able to be part of the cell phone. So when I talk about the internet, there's pretty much two options when it comes to internet for us. It's for our enjoyment and for productivity. And for enjoyment, pretty much it's trying to use social media such as Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. Now, okay, so pretty much the internet has made it a lot more easier for us because we're more capable of contacting friends and family members. And so we're trying to contact friends and family members, which makes it more convenient for us because we no longer need to have an accessibility for computers. And speaking of computers, according to a chart in Statista, around 96% of people that use Facebook more prefer to use Facebook in a mobile device such as a smartphone or a tablet all combined. So pretty much it benefits that we no longer need to have the necessity for a computer, because the smartphone is pretty much everything put into one together. Like the flashlight, the camera, the internet, and many more apps that are capable to helping us be more productive and help around throughout our world. So in conclusion, I hope to have been able to explain why the smartphone is one of the most important technological advancements in the world. Now, the smartphone has something that I believe to be one of the most revolutionary items that the world will keep on changing, because it's going to pretty much amaze us and surpass what we can expect from it. And I'm pretty sure by the time it's like way more in the future, we're no longer going to need phones, but something a lot more advanced than that. Thank you.
All right, Nicole, aren't you glad you stuck around?
Yeah.
There you go.
I liked I think you had a good structure. I knew what you were going to talk about, and like the 3 points of the 3 points were, I knew what you were going to say, and you had a good conclusion and intro. I liked how engaging you were, and you used your hands, and your eye contact was okay, and yeah, that's it.
Well, I like the joke at the start, but you need to work on it because it doesn't come out quite as effectively as it should. You have a statement about the technology that you want to make. It sounds like it's a an opinion statement, maybe there's a value argument to be made here, but I got a fundamental question about this. Look, if everybody on the planet has a smartphone, why do we need to have the argument made about how important they are? Seems like everybody already knows this. You're basically telling us something that we know. This sounds to me like an informative speech more than it is a persuasive speech. Since you never compare any other technology to the smartphone, the idea that television or motor vehicles or medicines or those things might be seen as being important innovations, but the smartphone's the most important innovation. Well, we don't get any comparative argument about those things. We just get a description of smartphones, which, you know, I think it's pretty basic. Most people here already know all the things that you're talking about. So you're not really adding much to the conversation. You spent a long time talking about landlines and what the potential drawbacks of them are, and then kind of explaining how they are trying to address that issue. I'm going, why am I listening to this in context to the argument that you're presenting, which, like I said, I think it's not really argumentative. You're just telling us what the differences between them are. To me, the thing that might be most important to talk about on a subject like this are the things that are controversial about those phones. You know, I have a friend who recently worked on a criminal case, and there's a whole bunch of information that was subpoenaed as part of the criminal case. It's actually an attempted murder case. Whether or not the person was trying to kill somebody came up as a subject of discussion. And she went to a seminar where they're talking about phone technology. She says, I won't talk in a room anymore when there's a Android phone around, because everything that you're saying basically is being listened to by somebody. To me, that's the kind of stuff that we ought to be talking about. What potential, I mean, there are a lot of advantages of the phones, but are there things that we should be concerned about with our phones? Are they giving away too much information about us? You mentioned GPS, which is great for us being able to get from point A to point B, or getting Uber to come for us. But what about when everybody else wants to come for us? You know, the government is going to start taxing us on the basis of how far we travel. And how will they know that? Based on our phones, because we've got those in the damn car, and it'll tell us how many miles on the road we were. There's your tax rate, you know, that kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to worry about because of this kind of technology. And I think there's an argument to be made there. There's something to warn us about, to suggest solutions to, and that sort of thing. That's not the direction that you're going. You're just kind of telling us, well, here's some good crap about the smartphones, and I'm going, I'm not sure anybody doubts that, because, like I said, you said it yourself. 5 billion people out there are using smartphones, so who doesn't know some of the things that you're talking about? I don't know. The presentation, I think your eye contact's inconsistent. Nicole's, you know, I think she's being kind to you. I think you need to look at us a lot more. You have a tendency to cock your head the whole time you're speaking, like you're thinking about what you're going to say next. And you add on top of that when you do look at us, it kind of looks like you're talking to us out of the corner of your eye. And I think that's a little distracting too. You could build up a lot more credibility if you engage us more directly. All right, I'm going to, like I said, try and keep it short. So